Thank you very much for having me. Definitely going to have a great time today. The learnings of COVID-19, 100 days into this pandemic. Looking forward to a great discussion today. Obviously, we all have been hit by it, but we hope that at the end of this discussion, the world will get to see the way forward and the new normal and how we get to live beyond this.
How have things changed for you in Kumasi?
Well, just like
How have
every
things
other
changed?
part of the world, like everybody has been hit, not
You can
just
hear me?
Kumasi.
Sorry? Okay.
Yeah, so just like I said, every other part of the world has been hit, and Kumasi is no exception. I mean, from our nightlife to our daytime activities to everything. Hardly would you be able to step out. You know, we had a cinema in Kumasi. Now nobody is able to go watch a movie at the cinema.
Mm.
Nobody is able to step out in the evening to go to Vienna. We have our brother George join us. Nobody is able to step out to go party, and until even the restrictions were a bit tempered with or eased up, where 100 people could actually gather. It was very difficult for people to step out. So it's really affected everybody, businesses, those in the entertainment industry. We are all suffering. I mean, financially, some of the things that perhaps we had budgeted for and thought that could actually reap in money are all turning to be something else. We now have to look at the new normal, which is digital. And that's what we're doing now. So it's brought in a number of lessons. And again, we need to know how to live with it because we are losing so much as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. For me, it's been very interesting to see how there's been like a sort of distraction of the old systems, but yet there's this opportunity for new things. And that's what's really exciting. And that's the conversation we're going to be having today. So at this stage, I'd like to introduce our August panel today. I'm very, very, very excited. I'll start with the first four speakers. We have Emma Wanani, who is the Chief Director at Global Media Alliance. She has been with the organization for over 10 years, since she joined in 2010. Her roles entails leading communication, public relations, and digital innovations. She's a passionate communication and personal development coach. So we are very excited to have her. We also have Fumi Onuma, who is the current country manager of Silverbird Cinemas Ghana. She has over 10 years experience in corporate governance, retail, and cinema management across cinemas in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Uyo, and now Accra, and a demonstrated history of working in entertainment and film industry. We're really glad to have you here. We also have Kofi Funks Che, who is a DJ and African music powerhouse based in London and Accra. He's also an artist manager, digital music expert of Crux Global. He's been a key champion of African music across the diaspora, putting together huge historical events worldwide and managed global charting campaigns. We're also very excited to have you. And we also have George Blagoji, who is the branch manager of Vienna City Kumasi and has been working with Vienna City since 2004. He is the only manager who has been through all the Vienna City locations in Ghana. We're humbled to have you here.
Definitely. And we also have another squad, like a very hot one joining me. Most of them are into the entertainment industry as well. We have Kojun Kansa Lewin. People normally know him. He would typically go like, how dare you? Today, we are not going to dare him because I don't know what he might say today. But Kojun Kansa Lewin is one of our speakers today, joining us as a panel. We have the almighty Reggie Rockstone. I mean, when you talk about hip life music in Ghana, you know that Reggie Rockstone is the name that is mentioned. He's been with us for several years. He's charted a path that has actually created jobs for several years. And almost everybody who is into hip life or whatever genre they call today bows and respects Reggie Rockstone. So Reggie Rockstone is also a panelist today. Again, we have Ken Ejapon Jr., and I'm sure the name actually rings a bell. He is a co-founder of Afuchela and the general manager of Ken City Media, that is Net2, or Man FM and Ash FM. And, typically we refer to his father, but the name comes in and now you know who I'm talking about. That's Ken Ejapon Jr. And then we also have another great guy who is an actor. He's a comedian, he's a TV presenter, he's a host. That is Foster Romanus. If I want to break down the Romanus, you might get into trouble this particular evening. So I wouldn't want to get into that one. But Foster Romanus is also our guest today on this particular discussion. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us.
All right, so I guess we can start and jump in and straight into the conversations. I'm very, very excited. Without much ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Emma Wanani, who will be talking on learnings in the events management and opportunities in the events management industry and also opportunities for the future. All our speakers have 5 minutes. I'm going to be a friendly timekeeper, I promise.
Prior to that, Akosia, if I may want to make Emma hold on a bit so that we invite our rep from Takrady actually.
Sure,
Since
sure.
we spoke about Accra, I spoke about Kumasi, I want to find out from her in Takrady as to how this has actually impacted or COVID-19 has had an effect on them in Takrady. So we want to invite Magdalene Chelsea Say, who is the morning show host on YFM in Takrady. So if
Hi,
Chelsea
everyone.
can actually hear me, yes.
Anyway, I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. So, like Akosia said, we are both going to be very friendly. So, we want to find out from you how COVID-19 has impacted or had an effect on the entertainment industry in Takrady. So, for the next 5 minutes, it's all yours.
All right, so since we recorded our first coronavirus case here in the Western region, or let me say Takoradi, people became a little bit scared about the virus, though we were not part of the initial partial lockdown, which affected Greater Accra, Tema, Kaswa, and Kumasi. It was as if we were included, and you could see that our pictures were trending on social media. Basically, everything here was like as a standstill. Nothing was happening. And usually, before coronavirus, nightlife in Takrady is pretty simple. People usually start from Champ Sports Bar, then move to Paragon nightclub or Malibu, and then they will end their nightlife somewhere around Vienna City nightclub. But since the ban on social gathering was passed, everything ceased. All nightclubs and bars were closed, and they still remain closed. And I had the opportunity to interact with some of the club owners and the managers, and they had to tell me point blank that they had to let their workers go home without salaries because they couldn't afford to pay them. And I recently visited some pubs and bars that are selling food, okay? And I could count on one hand the number of people there. Before coronavirus, all these places were usually packed during weekends. And touching on radio stations, almost every radio station here in the Western region had to cancel their outdoor program. And some saw the opportunity in there to hold virtual shows to entertain their audience. And you can recall we had YFM Triangle coming up with Clash of the DJs as well as the Y Rated Live, which had ISM and Nemesis Loso representing Takrady. To perform to also create awareness on the virus. And due to the pandemic, the organizers of the Western Music Award, that is the prestigious award here in the Western region, had to postpone the award show. But according to a close source, they might have a virtual concert. And the same close source also indicated that the board is currently vetting the entries that have been submitted. And some artists have taken advantage of the pandemic to release songs educating people about it. And some of these songs have enjoyed massive airplay. I have to be frank with you. For instance, I sent By June song. I know it's also enjoying airplay almost everywhere. And I had the opportunity to also interact with MCs, DJs, and event decorators. They also complained that they had to refund some monies because uh, people had to cancel their weddings at the end of the day because of the new directives. Though the weddings were canceled, or let me put it this way, couples who had previously postponed their wedding took advantage of the restriction because it got to a point where the government came up um, with a directive that you can have 25 people at your wedding. So a lot of them took advantage of that and they held their weddings without the DJs, without the MCs, without event decorators. And with the easing of the restriction, people here are still being a bit careful because the cases here keeps increasing. As it stands now, okay, according to the regional update, we have recorded over 1,051 confirmed cases, and out of which 915 people have been discharged, and 33 people have recovered, and 3 people are reported dead. So basically, when it comes to entertainment life here, nothing is really happening. And there's an ongoing campaign that the Western region shouts COVID-19 out, which most of the influential people in Takrady, artists, musicians, radio presenters, have jumped on to create awareness. Basically, we are in the awareness creation era. Others are taking advantage of that to also donate notes, masks, hold other virtual concerts and stuff like that. But it's some way.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. I think weddings and funerals, anyone who wants to get married and wants to save, this may be the year. Have the people you really care about and love and save some money and have a nice, quiet wedding. Anyway, so thank you so much for sharing. We'll go to our next speaker, Emma Wenani, who will be talking about the events management industry and opportunities in there as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Akosia. How are you doing?
Awesome. How are you? You're looking good.
Thank you so much. And I agree with you. Anyone who's planning on getting married, this is the perfect time. You'll have less people to come for the wedding and, save the money for better things, right? Anyway, one of the things I'm going to start with, because obviously I work for an events company that's Global Media Alliance. And, we've been affected just like everybody else with this pandemic. And I do remember when we had to cancel at least 7 upcoming events, even just before the lockdown, because the numbers were increasing and we knew that people would, be not willing to attend events because of, the fear of COVID-19. And most of our events we organize them for 5 objectives. 1, brand awareness, where we want to, create awareness for a particular brand, either an in-house event or even an external event. Another thing we do is to organize events where we're either launching a product or a service, both for our clients or for our own. And then another thing we do is maybe organize events for networking opportunities. So you see, we couldn't really be able to have this kind of events because they need the people to be present, to be able to network, to be able to reach them, to sell the message. If let's say you're working for a client and they want to, launch a product, you can't, the way we were used to launch a product to an empty room, But now that we've come to accept the new normal, I want to just share 3 things that as a company we've been working with and perhaps could be the future of the event industry. And I'm sure my colleagues in the entertainment and event industry maybe will add a couple of these things or can give us some other examples. One of the things that we've had to do is to adjust to the new landscape. NY spoke about the new normal. It's been said that we really don't know when COVID-19 is going to end. This could be our new normal. People are saying that it could become something like yellow fever. When you're about to travel, you'll need certification that you're clear of the disease and something like that, which means we need to be able to work in a system where we're putting things into place to be sure that we are safe and sound, right? So instead of just looking at it and saying, after COVID, we'll be able to do this, I don't know whether there'll be an after COVID period. So a lot of event companies, including Global Media Alliance, have had to adjust to this new normal. Another thing is reassessing how we deliver on these events. I'll give an example of an event we just had over the weekend, Ghana Beverage Awards, which we've been organizing for the last 4 years. And this particular event was one of the events we had to postpone because of the pandemic. And we had to weigh the options and think. I mean, at the end of the day, next year will be a different edition for Ghana Beverage Awards. We don't want to postpone the event and affect the event in future. So we decided to go virtual. I know a lot of events have now decided to go virtual. So we decided that Ghana Beverage Awards, we're able to do it in a virtual way. And believe you me, we're able to deliver it with still the same standard that our stakeholders are used to, and we're able to come on board and still award the companies that were supposed to happen. I know we've seen, for example, Hanifa, the US-based Congolese fashion designer. I think she she broke the internet at some point when she had her fashion show without models. You know, a lot of these fashion shows in the US are high-level events where people want to attend to see what kind of outfits are going to be, you know, to be bought. But Hanifa came up with a no models, you know, 3D sort of fashion show. One, she might have lost money, which she could have, you know, people would have bought tickets to attend the show, but she was able to put her brand out there. The same thing with Global Media Alliance. Maybe if we had organized the Ghana Beverage Awards, would have had more people coming, would have made more revenue. However, as a forward-looking communications company, we also can't just hold on and say that we're going to not go with what's happening in the past. I know a lot of DJs have also been, you know, having entertainment shows live on Instagram, on Facebook. I mean, YFM, Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi have not been left out. We introduced Party Pressure because at the end of the day, we are at home and we still need some entertainment. It's something that we're used to. I honestly, I miss going out. You know, we used to say, thank God it's Friday, and you're just discussing with your friends and wondering where you're going to go this Friday. And I totally miss it. But we have to adjust to being able to have different forms of, you know, entertaining ourselves. And just sometimes your mental state is so important, and just relaxing and listening to some good music is very important. So what can we learn from some of these events that have been done virtual? You know, it's not always about profit, right? And organizations and individuals have to position themselves as forward-looking and being able to work within the new normal. And then the last thing I want to talk about, like, will be the future of the event industry, are the practices and protocols that will be at events. So now we're going to have a situation where people might not be, you know, willing to go for events that necessarily have a lot of large crowds. One, because of the fear of, you know, you never know who's around. So event management industries will have to have some sort of, you know, partnerships with organizations where you can be able to start the event execution, not necessarily from the day of the event, but include digital into it. So you have to have a way where you're selling the benefits to your client who is sponsoring a particular event, starting from the digital aspect. And then if you decide to organize a physical event, we do know that physical events will come back and will have lesser people, but still your stakeholders will not miss out on those benefits that they could have had. We're going to be able to see events where we'll need to have health professionals around so that we can be able to, in case of any suspected case, we'll need to see quarantine rooms that people can be able to go to. We'll need more hand washing.
Your time is almost up, or it's like a minute fast, but I'll give you time to wrap up. Just wrap up your thoughts.
Yes, and you know, the way we'll have to be organizing some of these events will have to change. And you know, in the past we've collected data from corporate events for our attendees, and now more than ever, this data will be so necessary because we've seen the importance of, you know, data collection in the contact tracing period. So yes, of course, those are just some of the things I wanted to address when it comes to what we've learned as an organization, what we've seen around the world, and what the future of events looks like.
Thank you so much. Insightful. For those doing the listening, please feel free to send questions you may have to at Y1079FM, all our socials, tweets, and also on our Instagram. You can WhatsApp 020-2222-073 for YFM Accra for your questions. Thank you, Emma, for the tips, including digital in your packaging and also the importance of data collection. This is a very, very powerful tip you shared. I will talk more about it later on this session. NYDJ, I hand over to you.
Yes, all right. So, I mean, just like I said in the introduction, Reggie Rockstone, or Grandpapa, is actually a music leader, he's an entrepreneur and a club owner. And of course, if you talk about after work, you know what happens there. The ban on social gathering has actually impacted the activities of nightclub operators, I mean, bars and all that. And so Reggie is going to, for the next 5 minutes, talk to us about the challenges that he's had to face and how they're overcoming this as they are still learning in the process. I've seen innovative ways over the week. I mean, he was trending because there was a certain wachi in a glass, which was trending and all that. I don't know if that's one of the innovative ways to go in this particular season. So if Reggie Rockstone can hear me, Exactly.
Eco-friendly, yes.
Yes. So if Reggie can hear me, he wants to share with us how this has impacted the nightclub business or that side of the entertainment industry, and how he as a manager, as a club owner, and as a musician actually is dealing with this. So Reggie.
Let's hear from Chiamo. Greetings to everyone. Love,
Greetings. Great to see you.
Black folks. Okay, so I know, right? I married a young woman.
Reggie, talk to us.
Well, so first of all, COVID is I just want to get it out of the way. Everybody got it. Yeah, everybody took a hit. I am no different. Luckily for me, I had already slowed down as far as the club business. I stopped being a club a minute ago. I became more of a after work upstairs, like a little pub where people come to when they close from work. So the yeah boogie boogie was already on a slowdown before COVID popped up. Now, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Oh, here comes somebody there.
Hi.
I'm a conspiracy freak. So before COVID even hit and it started to lurk, I had already started telling my wife the shit was about to hit the fan. So we started to slow down, and then something really amazing happened. Everything went the other way. We started to shine in COVID times. So I have a unique story. Yep, food. COVID or not, people got to eat. And I just so happened to have the bomb watching that everybody was on when we was up and running. So now that everybody was home, they missed us. They missed the food. And then somebody made a comment, try to troll me. It went viral. Me and my wife jumped on there and just went boom. We just started to ride. And now it's just rocks watching all day. To the reality. So for us, COVID is a whole different vibe. I mean, we move in like 600 packs of watching. What's I say? However, I still feel the vibes out there for everybody else. Also, God works in mystic ways. We have become some kind of a charity setup because for some strange reason, people started to donate money for us to cook, watch it, and feed the needy. So that's like a whole nother page. So in COVID times, me and my wife become Reggie Teresa and Madame. And we out there doing God's work and then getting paid for it. So that's our story there.
Interesting. I mean, like you said, in these times, you found an opportunity to actually get into something else or focus on what you were doing, since the nightclub business was you were almost moving out of that. Let's look at you and music. I know you've not been too loud on it recently, but then how do musicians get to survive in these times? Because now there are no shows, they can't come out to actually have a meet and greet session. Album launches are even becoming a problem. But how do artists survive in these times?
That's a tough one there. That's a really tough one. I mean, if you have your social media game tight, if you have all your, what they call when they download all that stuff, I'm old school, sorry. If you got all that stuff tight, you should be all right. But of course, you will never have it like it used to be. Nope. But you see, I come from the CD and cassette era and moved into all of the above. So I just survived the wave. Yes, I'm not actively putting the music out, but I intend to put out my collection, my classics, put them out there so, all the fans, it's, to when you're beer, obeying them, no matter senior social media for no, or more your medjuma. Now, what's me? Why am I out the IFA? Yes, I actually. I guess I'm blessed that in the social media circles, I kind of stepped up too. So I move with the times. I'm kind of active on there. So yeah, but yeah, man, you really need to strengthen your social media game to translate to the people them, because you know they sat at home, they're not trying to come out, so you got to reach them.
Okay, great. I think that's well thought of because, like you can see, somebody like Swiss Beat, and then one other person decided to go on with Versus, and the whole world is tuning in and watching it all the time. It's gradually becoming a big business deal for them all together. So I think, like you said, the social media game has to be tight so that you get to survive and also make some money on that. So Reggie, thank you very much for actually sharing that insight with us here on this particular broadcast. Let me get back to Akosua. So for those who are still listening, you may want to send in your messages. Get on Facebook. We are on Y1025 FM, Y107.9, across all our Twitter and Instagram pages as well. Leave your messages, your comments, and we'll make sure you put it to them when the time is due. So Akosua.
All right. Thank you so much. It was also great hearing from Reggie. One lesson I learned: strengthen your social media game. I'm getting really scared of social media nowadays. It's becoming really powerful. It's also becoming really scary. We're going to be moving on to our next speaker. And she is Fumi Onuma. Fumi, please, you have 5 minutes. She is a country manager for Silverbed Cinemas Ghana. We're going to be talking about how things are changing in the cinema industry and opportunities for growth over there. Thank you.
Good evening. For us, in the movies industry, in the cinema industry, it's been a very tough one. We didn't see this coming, and it hit us in different ways because we have a lot of, we just don't do local movies, we do international movies, and we had a lot of plans for 2020. There were a lot of blockbusters prepared for our customers in Ghana. And just like Mr. Rockstone said, he had already started planning in how to integrate marketing because prior to COVID, we had a lot of complaints from customers coming to the cinemas and the tickets will be sold out. So we already started a back-end integration for online ticketing. And it's one of the things that will be fully in place by the time we resume because the payment system, the cash transaction, it's a mode of, it's part of the things that we've realized that the virus can be transmitted by exchange of cash. So post-COVID, we're going to have a lot of plans. We have some plans already in place regarding the health and regarding admittance of babies into the cinema, because we realized that people coming for adult movies, actually it had become a norm for them to bring in babies, and we had a lot of issues prior to COVID. So now we're going to enforce it. We're going to restrict the issues of people keeping seats for their friends. It's been an issue, but now we're going to have like limited occupancy. So if you don't book your tickets before coming to the cinema, it's going to be very hard for you to watch a movie because we're going to be operating on a very limited occupancy rates, which hasn't been given to us by the government. We expect between 40 to 30% occupancy, which we would have to manage and actually seal some seats. The health can be overemphasized. We're going to do a lot of health checks. And for that, we'll need people to come in few minutes earlier than usual to see their movies because it's going to take a lot of time to check everyone to ensure their temperatures are at the level that you'll be able to watch movies with other people. And sick people won't be admitted into the cinemas. We'll be so strict with that and we'll enforce that to the highest limit because you'll be in a hall with people for 2 hours maximum, and having someone with a cough and cold and telling us is mild, it won't allow you, because I have realized before COVID, we could argue certain things out, but with COVID now, you can't argue that. You can't tell me your temperature is okay and you have cough and you're coughing. It's something that won't be accepted at all. And we talk about payment platforms like the mobile money payments and online ticketing. It's something that the government even needs to enforce, because when you tell people we're going cashless and they come in with their cash, what are we going to do? We're going to argue out a lot of. So for us, is technically speaking, we have a lot of things to plan. There's the international regulation that will be given to us, which we haven't gotten in place now. And we also have the issues of the local producers, whereas the movie premieres, we have to look at that. When you have a limited occupancy, how would you report that to your producers? So we're going to have to sit down and agree for every movie per movie and producer per producer. We have to sit down and agree how movie premieres will be done post-COVID. Because before COVID, we could say the hall is 200 and you sell 200 tickets, you can easily reconcile it.
Time is up, so if you could just wrap up.
Well, post-COVID, for us, the cinema industry is something that we're still working around. We haven't really figured it out, because around the world, it's an industry that has really been affected. So we're still working on issues.
Thank you so much for sharing. There's a lot of things you shared, new systems you are going to put in place that I didn't even think of. We'll have more questions on that during the Q&A session. Thank you so much. I'd like to hand over to my co-host, NY.
All right, thank you very much. Learning a lot. I mean, with the cinema industry, for instance, now you'd have to reduce the number of people who come in. That means that cut down on monies that you should have been receiving, and that's very a difficult time. Now, I want to move to Kenny Japan Jr., who happens to be the co-founder of Afrochella, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the events everybody is looking forward to at the end of the year. Everybody coming out from Ghana or even in Ghana. If you don't attend Afrochella, like, you're not in that class, you know what I mean? So he's going to talk to us to let us know how COVID-19 has impacted events, and looking forward, what's the best way forward. I mean, I saw images of what it could be when you have to get a drive-in party, like everybody is in his car, and then you have you connect to an infrared or a Bluetooth, and then you're listening to a sound while you're in your car. Is that going to be the phase here in Ghana, or how is it going to be like? So if Ken can actually hear us, Ken, you have the next 5 minutes to share with us the future of event and how it's been impacted so far.
How's it going? Good evening, everyone. It's interesting because before coronavirus, so when we first started Afrochella in 2017, we was doing everything with cash. And on 2017, but in 2019, if you realize there was so many people, like you see that on social media and whatnot, so many people outside, because we decided on 2019 that we're not going to you can't buy a ticket at the gate. So you have to make sure you had a wristband and whatnot, so we could track where the people are coming from and whatnot. So it's just a coincidence. Then coronavirus happened. But then after the festival, when we had a meeting, a couple of our friends and whatnot was like, oh, they heard about this virus that's going on in China. So it was like, if it's anything that happens in China, it could definitely happen in Africa. It was just a coincidence that we was thinking that way, because a lot of people travel to China or whatnot to buy goods, come back and forth. So then we just decided to switch our whole plan, everything we was going to do. So when the lockdown came, in Ghana, people started emailing us, when is Afrochella? But we was like, this can't be, people, do they know what's going on? Because we were not really thinking about having Afrochella, because like people are dying across the different countries or whatnot around the world. So like, what's the point? We're not gonna do it for each other. So he was thinking about, okay, how we can help people. So some of the things we did was like, we gave masks to, like, the first donation we did, like, we gave 1,000 face masks to Rich Hospital. Then we gave like 500 to smaller hospitals and whatnot. So just to help, because we was thinking about the overall picture, because if everybody gets sick, nobody else could come to Afrochella or whatnot. So it's interesting that even up to today, like, people are still asking when Afrochella is gonna happen. We have everything planned, and like, if we get the green light from government, like, we could do it. We definitely have to reduce the numbers, because last year we did 16,000. That's not gonna happen. And even if it doesn't happen physically, we could actually also go virtual as well. Once we get the green light to move forward and whatnot, we could definitely do it. And we're thinking more of even going more local, like focusing more in like Ghana tourism inside within the country, because maybe it'd be harder for other people to come in. Like, I forgot the person who first spoke, like how now when you probably come to, or when you're traveling, you're gonna need like a vaccine or like the yellow fever or whatnot. So that might change a lot of different things. So if the people are already in Ghana, and then maybe it's a way that maybe we could test it. We have a lot of plans, but I don't think we can share it yet. But I think it definitely will work. But the entertainment industry, like, it really took a big chunk out of a lot of people's pay, I should say, because like artists can't perform. If artists is not performing, that means nobody's going out. Like, if you want to go to a club or a restaurant, because now, like, entertainment is like with extra, not extra money, but like after everybody is feeling well organized and whatnot, like if their bills are paid for, is like an additional thing. So that's not the first priority on everybody's mind right now. So I think we need to probably reorganize that, make it like a priority, not the first, but a priority for individuals after everything is getting better and whatnot. So I think we have a long way to go, but I think we can all help each other and whatnot, like in different industries.
So that means that's exactly how you didn't even much of the 5 minutes, but then I still want to engage you a bit. That means that definitely this year, Afrochella is going to go on as if we have the green light from the government. But that means you're going to.
If Mr. Jamal gives us the green light, we can start selling tickets.
But then, I mean, looking at the numbers, like you said last year, there's 16,000. That means it's highly impossible to do that this year, considering the fact that social distancing, that 2-meter gap apart, and the fact that too many people are not even allowed to gather in a space. How are you really going to do this?
Well, if we have to cut anything, we'll definitely cut the amount of tickets, make it like limited amount or whatnot. If we're able to have like gatherings, if we're able to have gatherings like with X amount of people. But I think also think of virtual too is something that it could work as well too. So we definitely have to cut down, let's say maybe 50 to 60% the amount of people. So it'll be like a limited amount of tickets.
Well, that's very true. But then, I mean, we find ourselves in a space, especially since we're thinking of Ghanaians, we find ourselves in a space where a lot of Ghanaians feel, come on, I mean, virtual doesn't give the same experience like we would have, and that they don't want to actually pay to actually watch. Are you looking at that, or for now you make your focus those in the international world who want to watch?
To be honest, it's not going to be about the money, because it should be more about the people. So maybe this year, if we could do it and it's virtual, it's not like, oh, we're going to charge all the people to watch something. No, that won't be right. I think everybody's struggling in their own ways and whatnot. So it shouldn't say, oh, to have this Afrochella, you should pay maybe 50 cities and you're going to watch it at home. 1, you're going to buy credits. 2, you have to pay ECG and all that stuff. So we have to make all that part of the package. So if we do anything virtual, from my personal view, not the whole company, but I think we won't charge anything. We won't charge.
All right. That's insightful. Thank you very much for sharing with us. So, of course, if it's supposed to go virtual, that's your opinion on the company yet, but you being the boss, in your will, it should be free as if it goes virtual. I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, that would be more like your CSR as well, giving back to society, just like you're giving face masks and all that out. But thank you very much, Ken. Akosia.
All right. Thank you so much. That was very fun to listen to. I definitely want to have a free Afrochella. So we're going to be
Yeah.
jumping to our next speaker, who is Kofi Funks Che. He's going to be talking about the effect on songwriters, sound crew, production, publicists, amongst others. He will also share insights on the digital streaming opportunities that are actually here now because of COVID. Kofi Che, your audience.
Hey guys, yeah. Firstly, just been great listening to everybody. Yeah. So in terms of digital music, there's actually been an increase. So digital music has increased by 2.5% in the past 2 months during this COVID period. So that's just the first thing. Secondly, there's been like an amplified emerging forms of music consumption. What I mean by that is people have started gravitating more towards video streaming, gaming, social media, and live streaming. This is where there's been a lot of increase. So I've got like a few stats here and a few companies that have started expanding during this period that we should all be looking at taking advantage of. Firstly, I've got Twitch here, which has had the huge growth in the past 3 months. It's rose by 524% since the beginning of COVID. That's gone from 92K viewers to 574K viewers on average, which is like a huge increase. And that's down to like gaming, people having engaging shows, etc. on that platform. And that platform is actually also owned by Amazon. And Amazon Music's also been increasing as well. Apple Music also expanded during this period as well. They expanded to more markets in Africa. I think they expanded to 52, I think they're now in 52 countries in Africa. And they also launched a whole lot of playlists on Apple as well that wasn't there before, also giving artists more opportunity, especially Ghanaian artists. For instance, through our digital distribution platform, Crux Global, we've had, every artist is getting 4 to 5 playlists, even if you're an emerging artist, 4 to 5 playlists on Apple on average, on a normal release. And the slightly bigger artists are getting 8 to 10 playlists on average. And beforehand, the only playlist that was available to us and that we were supported on Apple was Ghana Bounce and there's the Rising. That's the other one, Rising, which is like the new artist in Ghana. So for instance, when we did Medical's project last year, one of the key playlists they gave us was Rising, but actually Medical's one of the biggest artists in Ghana. So that in terms of like on average of what should be happening, it wasn't available at the time, but now they've expanded and understood that, there's a growth here in the scene, etc. And also they've launched a show on Beats One, which is called Africa Now, with DJ Cuppy from Nigeria. But, it also gives us more opportunity to reach more people and achieve more streams, which in turn comes into more income for the artist and for the label or whoever is working that. Secondly, I've put here Mixcloud. So Mixcloud is like a long form listening platform similar to SoundCloud. It's based in the UK and the US, and it's heavily focused on, as I said, long form content. But since the pandemic, they launched a live streaming element on the show, which we subsequently set up a Ghanaian radio station, diaspora radio station on there. It's like an online platform, and it's already achieved over 100K viewers across the diaspora. And it's, during the pandemic, became the home for Ghanaian music in the diaspora. So again, that's the opportunity for artists in Ghana to be able to be seen and heard outside of Ghana, increasing their streams, leading to, again, more income. I've also put here, there's been an increase in Instagram lives. So there's been a 70% increase in the amount of Instagram lives that are happening on Instagram. And that's become another place where artists can engage with other people internationally. For instance, I saw Kiddy, when he released his project, he was doing a series of Instagram lives with a lot of people in London that he may not been able to, or may not have thought about engaging with before the pandemic in that way. So that's another thing. Instagram has also allowed a donation feature on there, which has allowed people to donate. For instance, Stoneboy did a festival or a show on his Instagram live for WaterAid in collaboration with Clash Magazine. And again, he was able to generate funds for, you know, the charity. And again, if an artist wants to do a concert on Instagram live and ask people to donate, you know, that's also another avenue that artist can go down. Spotify has also given artists an opportunity to have a tab on their page for people to like donate to that particular artist as well, which is another thing that has added on to Spotify that's, you know, allowed artists to generate an income too. As I said, gaming has been very big as well. And
your time is up, so if you can wrap up. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, three more points. So I'll be very quick.
Okay.
So Travis Scott did a concert with Fortnite, which is a game on Sony, and he had 12.3 million people tune in. It's, you know, the gaming industry is huge. It's about us being innovative and looking for opportunities there. TikTok and Triller are very huge as well. You know, short form content has changed the world, as we know it again, and has given artists a lot of opportunity to be seen. Major labels, you know, in the world, Warner Music Group went public on Nasdaq as of the beginning of June, which again is very interesting because this is a major label going public, because, you know, the music industry isn't what we saw it to be, you know, a long time ago. But yeah, so these are just a few points that I've mentioned. You know, again, Crux Global, we support artists at all levels, established, you know, early level artists, and also a heritage artist. I actually spoke to Reggie not too long ago. And yeah, we support artists in terms of distributing their music and helping them generate funds from their music online. So yeah, that's me.
All right, thank you so much. Exciting to hear that's all happening. I was a gamer as a kid, and when COVID came back, I now want to be like full-time gamer again. You know, Charlie, it helps your mental health. And right, DJ, I leave to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to that particular band. Like I said earlier, if we want to break in and say R for Romanus, O for Omanus, M for Manus, A for that one, I can't really mention it. Let me get to Foster. Foster, I trust you're doing very well.
Well, I'm good. Good evening to everybody, and thank you for having me.
Yes. So before you go in, I just want to find out. I mean, at a point before COVID, we found a lot of comedians putting shows together. You guys were supporting each other. You were at almost every week there was an event, and now COVID is here. I've seen you guys go virtual a bit and all that. But how impacting has this been? Like, are you guys really stuck? Like, say, okay, we can't do anything now. How has it affected you guys?
Well, a bit. I wouldn't say we are stuck. I think that we sort of we are evolving now, and it's giving us a broader scope of what do we call it? Of thoughts. And now you're not just thinking about the limited audience you are getting now. Even post-COVID, you are now thinking about how to reach a wider audience. Unlike first, we're only concerned about who's paying, who's buying a ticket to come in. So I would not say we are stuck, except we only miss our audience because, you know, we share energy. So we need their energy to flow. So, you know, their reactions, their laughter and all gives you the edge to move on with a particular topic. But now the virtual only gives you, a limited routine. You just have to stick to a particular line. You can't explore.
Foster, sorry to interrupt. If you could switch your camera, we kind of have you on the side.
Okay, so I should turn it like
straight
that?
Straight in. Merci beaucoup.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's better.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we are now, and I would say I want to thank Reggie Rockstone. He gave us his place. We're using it for the Ha Ha show, which was very, very great. And now I miss the place, though, especially the watching.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I must say that a lot has happened. We've learned a lot, and I, for one, have actually come to value the patron or the fan who actually has been paying to come watch us. Now it's like, yeah, it looks like, wow, all this while we needed them. So it's not like I'm just putting up a show because I want to do anything, but then we needed them to make the show happen. And now you have to think how to actually, put a material out that is going to make that person at home happy and make that person at home laugh. Meanwhile, you're not actually seeing his or her face. So yeah, I have actually come to appreciate, and I want to say a big thank you to them for supporting us till now. And moving forward, we've learned new things. We've now, for me as an individual, I've actually learned the essence of staying relevant, because now it's not just about being popular, it's about staying relevant for your fan base or for your audience. Now they have ample time on their side to select what content they want to watch. So now it's not just about popularity or what will keep them. So now you're thinking about rich content, rich routines that is going to keep them to always come back to you for more. And the fact that you have to stay original is also important, because now you have almost everybody at home board and trying something new with his laptop or with his phone, something funny, trying a skit here. So originality is very important so that it keeps you relevant as you want to be. So yeah. And then also now, I mean, we are talking about the new normal, which is the virtual. Though not really, as you have the audience there, now there's the need to have that knowledge on how to promote, how to, put all your stuff there, how to monetize and make a little from that side. Now, we have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and a whole lot of others. So now most of the people are doing podcasts, some are doing the TikTok videos. And I think this is a time where I would want to plead to the government to actually pay attention to us as well, not only probably the musicians, because we also need, apart from YouTube, we also need a platform where our works could go and then we could have it monetized, so that all these virtual plays you're doing can be put there, and then we could make something from it before every other blogger or every other news reporter gets it. Because though we are doing the virtual, it's not really bringing much, unless probably have a huge following on YouTube that you can cash. Apart from that, you're just doing it because you want to stay relevant. So I mean, if something could be done, I remember Stonebwoy had a chat with the Minister of Information, exactly, and they were discussing something like that. I think it will go a long way to help us, because unlike musicians, we don't have sites to stream our jokes or for people to.
Foster, your time is almost up, but I want to find out from you quickly or briefly. That means you are in for the fact that government should be looking at establishing a digital platform where you could have your content on there. And
it's very important.
I think even if you have your content on there, you definitely need to have people watch so you get the money. So it means you still, just like Reggie Rockstone said, you need to have your numbers game tight.
Well, that's very true. We have this group with Connie and Support. We've been doing stage plays almost every year, and there's the following. But the fact is, now you can reach a wider audience now. So let's say if there's a link where people could purchase the link via as your ticket, then that the link is being sold for people to watch it live. Okay. Yeah,
I do understand. All right, Foster, thank you very much. So I think if I'm getting anything from this, You tell us that this period has made you appreciate your fans the most. Now you get to know that just as they need you. And again, you don't believe that you guys are stuck. That is actually bringing up innovative ways for you guys to actually grow. Again, you want government to actually step in so that you guys are able to have a platform to sell your materials or for people to actually have access to your materials. Thank you very much for sharing with us. So you're still live on YFM in Accra. We are in Kumasi and Takrady, streaming all across our social media platforms as well. And of course, it's 100 days since COVID-19 in Ghana. We are looking at the learnings in the entertainment industry. We have a crux of personalities speaking to us this particular evening. And I know you're enjoying wherever it is you are. Back to you, Akosia.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite our next speaker without much ado. We are going to be having George Blagoji from Vienna City, Kumasi, who will be talking about, nightclubs. We know because of the ban on social gatherings, nightclubs, event centers has been hit hard. So we want to hear the challenges and the new learnings in this time. George, you're still on mute. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Thank you. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. It's been very, very hard for us. I would say the hospitality industry, to be precise, the hotel, restaurants, nightclub, casino. It's been very hard for us because at the beginning, nobody knew that this thing is coming. We party hard during the last part of last year, December. It was fun. We entered a new year. Nobody knew anything coming like this. We thought it was a distance. So we were just doing our own stuff. But gradually, we passed through Valentine, if I'm not mistaken, and we were preparing for, I think, Easter, which we knew that, hey, the president just woke up and said, we have to just put some measures because this thing is close to us. It was very hard and heartbreaking because, first of all, I will talk about our staff. For example, Vienna City, Kumasi, we were having about almost 104 out, and we have to lay all of them out. It wasn't easy. Just imagine that you are in your home and the subordinates are calling you, boss, what are you going to do? When are we coming to work? It was very, very big and enormous impact. But all the same, as my colleagues spoke about innovations and other things attached, in every situation, you have to think outside the box. We try to excel. We try to operate. Our casino is now in session. We are taking the measures that the government introduced, washing of the hands and exercising the social distancing and what do you call it again, the nose masks, and so on and so forth. So we come back to some of the measures that the institution, that is Vienna City, put in place. First of all, our staff is very, very, very important. Definitely, we have to organize skeleton staff to hold the fort so that we see the near future what the Almighty God will bring on board. And we also talked about our patrons, both the existing and the potential ones. How are we going to handle them? Because everybody can bear with me that Vienna City is a strong party pillar in Ghana because we are found in almost all the 4 big capitals in Ghana: Accra, Kumasi, Takrady, and Tema. So we thought about how to survive. We went back to our drawing board for business strategy, and we came up with some strategy that we have to do some deliveries. We have to intensify it because that is how we're going to survive. Because when you see left, right, center, no help is coming from nobody. So we tried to go out there, especially you YFM people, you help us a lot. YFM Kumasi, YFM Takrari, I don't know of Accra. They help us intensify our delivery session. And we came back to our, what do you call it, casino as well. We always have our, what do you call it, our lucky night. I would say, yeah, lucky night. We intensify it as well. And people enjoyed it. It was amazing to see even some of the patrons calling when the band was selected, partially. Hey, boss, when are we going to come and have some small entertainment at your place? And it is amazing. That means they were loving what we were doing. So we have to think deep, very, very deep. As one of the speakers said, I've forgotten the name, one of the ladies says the disease can transmit through money. Yeah. We have to re-strategize by going into the POS system, Visa cards, mobile money for payments, and other stuff. And even another
your time is up. So sorry. So if you can just wrap up for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Another heartbreaking stuff is at the beginning, the NSC being proactive, we invested our money into our stock, and we have to put more money because we thought the Easter holiday is going to be hard and big. So we push more in there. By the end of the day, everything is locked. You can't get your money back because the money is being pumped in your stock, and you can't get it back unless you sell to get your revenue back. So it was very, very big on our part. Very, very big. Somebody will say, we were bleeding, seriously. We were bleeding. So we just want to see what the government will do in the near future. Whether we heard that they have some sort of funds that they're going to use to support the hospitality industry, So we want to see how best they will come up with it and how we are going to get our part of the share to satisfy our patrons and our staff. So that is all I can say for now.
Thank you so much. That was insightful. And I would like to leave it to the NYDJ. But yes, let me remind everyone doing the listening at Y1079 FM social, send your questions there and we'll ask them to our panelists. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Akosia. So I'll now move to my Oseko brother, that's Kojo Kansalo-Wing. Before I move to him, I want to find out from him if he could actually summarize all that's been going on. Kojo? Kojo, Pacho, almost a minute I said the kind, you know, bet me I summarize it, you'll be a am I?
know dear, what are you can't be on tea. Oh, my Mumu. But the sign, lemons, about the answer.
Oh, Kojo, no, Obia to make a hard there you now into in church and the can ask. Kojo, anyway, I know the name just by the by, but thank you very much. So when you're quite and what Nancy are training all those one, yes, you know, say what did you be a COVID-19 by you as an actor, me sure say how.
Of course,
when to make movies near the or short comedy videos be near the but COVID-19 by who as an actor, how now affect you for movie side for a new month when I say I release a new song be dance or comic and amber.
Yeah, how dare you?
To say Sano Manina first na KBA Timiko baby, Timiko Bushos, make sure the Easter crank and shows how about easy.
Yeah, man.
They say Nina COVID-19 into Nina Amba, into me person who, and I perceive who's a COVID-19 impact Ben Nanya so who as a movie producer, you as an actor, and you as a musician.
Yeah. You did the kind of chair bush for motor washing and a tea from every and there and you may YFM. Nakopon show be when I'm born in Riason, 1 or yes. COVID-19 since 900 days of COVID-19. I've been having power Ghana movie industry now. as a Kumo no na emphasize car boy and the car kwema na fene nke bo bo nke beso donc when say be twa fe ya dia ko no se unyame mama bedi and tu so bi antimi enkonko adwuma ana akoye star na akoye celebrity ntimi ntase se wo twa ma covenant atwam ansa na odofo ana fans atwonka it's like process and the eters no adwo bi ne wono ma okwa akoje a oba be ye na akoye mpa wo de ko fan na sabi akoto ma nipa ko na de ko fan na cinema be na de ko nipa sai kwa na beba ntimi mpi nipa do ntimi kunkutwa be nyame adom se celebrities inde e dia creativity de ho e baby bia adofo ni beje de ne wa ho be sere de wo su beje asu ase eni ntino tabi ya na yo backup se ne ni da o backup e series et won be last year mo no ha aya tundi mboga kwaba nti ede ma UTV na mu na issue ni ba na chi se ne for now no win UTV every Tuesday bia and the same time no e said be YouTube ntimi ko twene podom ne mom not really one ma ye be nipa message na ha tu gina na ye na se ne so aboa ma adofo di wachi ni podom na mo ho a hwe ose no mbenya anije and the same time no binua edin nanso ye wa fibia ye di esi ade chienko na de chiensonko ana wi na wo kibia na wono so a memende nim nanso nyame no bo wiase no wona tire wo yase and the same time no oba me side ya nema bebe na afete me two enyum side wono so no obonyum a enyum na hwete a ana wonya shu akwa charge isi wo obonyum na two enyum gwa hwete a e fa na akwa shu utwa video more than 60 times 70 times you want to and then you know but in the same time no so no Masai is two I get my international school more up to just as one and also not a cruise will be uncommon. Intermediate nuclear say me jam kese pa na so no ha me hu say e ya brabo enye da bia na woni ba gisa kwesi ye oda aho beba ahoche basket beba ti samre ya bra e da ahoche abra owiasi nyina emi se nyame mre ne mepa nyame bi wiasi aho nyina afi so amane ma cha sei nti me gi say sa covenant twetwama adwuma bebuga na so no ene akontu amafo betu kwa oboche no ebobu nipa de ne ntisesu nti mu bia mbre bia because nyagide say obeye adwuma ani eti no foni nyina no me de still na no mani ji omu say emre bi ba ani je na eba ti fana ya na marovo mu ni sum ni ahochim na de ko aka short time me film na edi nshira edi aba. Yeah.
Okay, Kwajo, my member say COVID-19 say it said e ka no obi anim time a e be free ho to say e start no e ema e ka ye no e be say bia bi kra de say nche be to say yellow fever shot I will be to kwan ani award and san wetimi to kwan say obi anim time a e be twam school for instance they say students intimi already na nkasa wa on charge a he bia na akazo yes carefree movies director and producer and team for us yenkotwa movie kwajo 1 hour short skating kakra de go your friend say into looking forward no kwan ben na obefa so surviving kwan ben na wo for instance wo fa so a to be surviving say obenyeska kakra because they said your kind onyum hete kra on team ko show and kai the meaning say there are times that Easter o team bo show kumasi na adwuna wetu kwan ko bo anse na akwa na akwa they say ni nyina mba into kwan ben na wo for instance wo fa so a surviving
Bishop for and I'm saying say bibia your backup first you are see you are na opopra or so twini papa ne boni or so you say a bit messy intimacy nti so your backup no fancy for now ya dey ba ye no the obia didi no e dey obo anu bu na chi ana do save to no na asoma
no correct
na save na no the obo anu bu na save na no e dey hwe on ketenkete saa e dey ko se ne be ya onyakopo be ye free how we you can make say we sing the tune na ke nyina ewu but so boa tune yet yasi
nyina da so tiasi
tune as we start one day say for now obasere we nya je wale we ho a YouTube Use Empire TV and Kojo Kata TV the center no we series at the YouTube abaga akwa na enum ho no ya tia akofom but within 5 days or 6 days ya be week ye no Sika me didi no matam. Ese Debbie. Bema de was suma sana maham. Me hwe ma nwo so enkofom. Ah, we try video na no ye menyo new am twa no almost 60,000 600 million. Say na be at least anwum fans won so very e be gina ma me. Say ya me twoma e be nya hwehwe atuma kwa akobo. Ti me video ah no da montre no audio nyina me kasa. Ma ye nwum be 4 ani nya matwa video. Ko say ye backup ato say nya me ya do na de ntimi twom kwa. Say na be ya best ma survive. Banya fe na be twoma wi afa na boko studio ta na boko studio wi a enye ma montre be hit. Ti for na no ya backup agu echi.
Yes, we suggest to say, time be any backup because senior be asem see I bet me a fall on baby.
Yeah. Once you be on news side, we be on news side dey bechi amana yale. Ana dey bechi amana kwanya nkwanhia. You have to say we backup.
Okay.
Yes, we say that e won da no and on ho kire no. But obi say there be e me betima ba. Me minim say star na me ye no. E me bi ba, me nkoso nya lewe bi. It does me to me name yi. Say the time was for ba. For every respect say yes. The way as senior because what they know now why teaching a chi the people respect me. They me twam wie that do aba no. Ebe to say na me my basa bi me sister dia. All respect me.
No quick question. No quick.
I anti sisi ho atwen emrepa no. Onyame bibia so isi nyame nsa. Yen kwa ya ho den enyansa ya dwen. E da so them way. What is it? It's very fine.
And Bibia very fine. What they are not so born you mana. Bibia very fine.
Makaba a term on the colors. Bibia very fine.
Kojo intimate that was it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we all heard what Kojo actually talked about. The fact that for him, he feels that it is very important that we have a backup. I mean, we've been told several times that imagine if your company sacks you or fires you, you should be able to survive for the next 3 months. If you are not able to survive, it means you've not planned properly. And that's what Kojo is saying, that there should be that backup so that so far as at any point in time when anything strikes, you should be able to fall on something. And that's what we've been talking about. For him, he's been engaging his fans and his following on social media, shooting comedy skits for YouTube where he's generating some money. And again, has a series that he actually short time ago and is currently playing on TV, so he gets to make some money from there as well. So it's important that we plan. We should be thinking ahead. Anything is possible. We should be thinking ahead and know how we fall on some of these things should any unforeseen incident happen. So that's what Kojo Kansah-Lewin actually shared with us. Back to you, Akosua.
Thank you so much. It was a blessing just listening, even just hearing the wisdom of, these are hard times and this is what happens with life, and after that come the blessings. And I think that's a thing to think about and remember all the time as we go through this very hard year. I guess at this stage we can go to Q&A, and I'd like to throw in this question. This can be to anyone, but I specifically want Kofi, Reggie, or Emma to answer this. With social media becoming more and more the only way people can engage, where they can engage with everyone, the increase of artists, Kofi, you spoke earlier about the increase of artists engaging internationally, their popularity of their music, more streams, more downloads. You realize that there is now a growing change in the visibility of African artists. Meaning there's now new demands and new responsibilities on celebrities now. In the last few weeks, D'banj has been trending, La Meme has been trending the whole of today. You realize that now it's like their audience, their fans are now demanding more from them, especially now in this time. What do you think is going to have to change in celebrity culture in Ghana and entertainment culture in Ghana because of all these things that are unraveling?
From me, to be honest, I don't condone anything that D'banj, done. I think that regardless of the times we're in, artists, musicians, entertainers, just need to be more like just ensure they stay moral no matter how big they get, and I think that's just the norm. But I guess from your other point, there's a social responsibility. So I think artists now have more of a social responsibility. I think Kenny said earlier on that Afrochella, they took loads of different things to hospitals, etc., because that's the social responsibility of, the brand, and obviously making sure that the country is supported so that their business can go on later on down the line. It's the same thing online for artists and entertainers as well. They have a social responsibility to ensure that their fans and their people are in a good place, mentally stable, etc., so that the fans can continue being the fans, and for the artists to again continue to make an income moving forward.
Thank you, Emma.
Just add to what Kofi has mentioned. I totally agree, because as celebrities, they have a responsibility to realize that they are role models to a lot of people. So whatever they do online or offline is going to be duplicated by somebody as the Bible truth, for lack of a better word. So I think in these times, and I like what you said at the beginning, Akosua, social media has become very, very scary. Like, your brand can really go from 100% to 10% in less than 2 seconds around the world. That's how connected the world is. So it's so important to have a brand that that you're not going to divulge from, no matter what. There are certain things that you have to be associated with, and if they're not good, you just have to, not be associated with them. Foster mentioned something in his presentation that right now him and his team are realizing just how important the audience have been, and it's so true. I think celebrities have to realize that without someone listening to you, without somebody downloading your music, really, will you really have that celebrity status that you want to give out? And it's so important right now to give back to the people who have been supporting you right now, and create a brand that you can be able to, stand up to and be known for. That's what I'd add to what Kofi has mentioned.
Thank you. Reggie, do you have anything to add?
Yes. Well, first of all, I am completely lost. What happened with the bonds? I've been pimping rice and beans. I missed a lot of stuff.
Another rape allegation, and it's been trending throughout.
What do you mean another? There was a first one?
No, sorry. I mean, there is a rape allegation, but I'm saying another because it's not even just Africa. Across the world, there's been a lot of talk about rape culture. And now, and
even in Ghana, there's been one with Lamem Gang. They've been trending all over because somebody came out to say that one of them actually raped a sister and all that. It's been trending on social media. I think Lamem Gang has even had to come out with messages now. The group are separating. Everybody is going his way and all that. So these are some of the things that are happening. I'm pretty sure the reason Akosua says another one.
Oh, yes. Man, rape that's an ugly vibe right there. That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I pray that they investigate, and because people can stick stuff on you. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I know whether they're guilty or not, but boy, like you said, with this new internet, and it's crazy. It's crazy out there. So I pray they investigate and do the right. Yeah. So it is scary, no doubt. I mean, I'm the old man who keeps it young, and some crazy stuff goes on in my DM. I got some really creepy folks that come in there. I guess if you are familiar with what went down a month or two ago, you had this brother who came on Twitter and spoke about my 6-year-old daughter. I don't know if you remember this. And
yeah, I do. He threatened to rape or something.
Wow.
Yes, this brother came on there and wrote and said they wanted to gang, excuse me, but it sounds harsh when I say it, but to gang rape my 6-year-old daughter.
Wow.
And so, but what's really scary is the responses that came from Ghana. I mean, you have people on social media talking about, Fanasana and girl. Oh, they play. Now that creeped me out more than what the brother said. because all of a sudden I realized that there was a whole bunch of people out there who did not know that this was wrong. And you have grown folks coming to me talking about, oh, you better, he was only playing. Oh, this is the one that broke my heart. Oh, you only trying to trend.
That's crazy.
You must have lost your African mind.
Wow.
Listen, I wanted to kill somebody. You see? So, yeah, it's really scary now. It is. Whether it's true or it's false, it's scary.
Reggie, thank you very much for that input. I want to throw across a question as well, and this could be answered by any, especially those who operate with the cinemas, with the nightclubs. Reggie, you also operate Rockstones. You have the Watcher joint there, and people come to and all that. Now it's obvious that people are now scared to step out. Like, even though people are gradually getting out of it and coming out, it's still scary. People don't want to step outside and go sit at a place and eat. People don't want to walk into the cinemas and do all that. For somebody like George, who handles Vienna City, how are you preparing for the future, or as we said earlier, the new normal? Because obviously you can't have 1,000 people in the cinema, you can't have 1,000 people in the nightclub anymore. Even if you want to use your outdoor space, you still can't have thousands of people gathered there. It's so scary now. How are you preparing for the future? And again, the clients or somebody like myself, I'm asking myself, am I going to pay extra to access the same service that I was getting? Is it going to be the same? Is there going to be a change? How should we all prepare for the future? So I'm sure George could take this, and after that we could get to Ama, and then we have Fumi as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. For hours in Kumasi, we've started compiling some stuff. First of all, everybody knows Kumasi, Vienna City, to be very, very tall in karaoke every Thursday. I hope NY will testify that. And we are
that's
trying
true.
to put things together so that we go online. We go online, and we are going to invite majority of our patrons, especially those who were very, very loyal to us during the hay days, where everybody knows that when you step in the Kumasi without going to Vienna within Thursday, then you are not in Kumasi. We are going to do it very hard, but we are going to strategize. And everything is in the pipeline coming very soon. And concerning food, it is true. People are very, very scared to come out. But with small cycling and talks, when people come to take their food away, we normally entice them by giving them some stuff like free Coke and other stuff, and what do you call it, the nose masks. They wash their hands as well, and we probably force them to exercise the social distancing as well. And as, for example, when you have family of 2, 3, maximum 4, we can create a table for you so that you don't interfere into incoming patrons, what do you call it, territory. So measures are being taken, and majority are cooperating. So you said, so far so good. We're going to carry on with this, and we believe that with time they will understand, and it's going to be like a norm. So so far so good.
Okay, so let's move to Fumi, who shares with us. I mean, since you are managing a cinema, I mean, one of the biggest in the country, and everybody wants to watch the top-notch movies. You guys are always coming in with the movies that are being premiered worldwide. Now, people want to come in, but they are scared. How are you allaying the fears of all your customers?
For us, we're driving cinemas, you must have a car. So we have 2 cars. Our other customers that don't have cars, and how we can collaborate with Uber or other companies to get to help us with the service at a very minimal cost. And all this are subject to approval by the government, because we are permanently shut down till end of July, and we've sent our proposals to the Ministry of Tourism. they haven't gotten back to us. We've told them the plans and our health and safety guidelines already. So everything is in the hands of the government and also the international studios and local producers, which we need to work out the new normal way of business, especially the movie premieres, which will be an issue because everybody wants to make money. They want to make money, and we need to make money. And the new normal would be people very selective of the kind of movies you'll come to see. You won't just produce a movie because you just want to produce a movie. You want to produce a movie and ensure you will market it properly and ensure that people will come. So customers will be highly selective with the new normal. If they're scared of going out, when they decide to go out, it must be worth it. You won't waste their time. And they would also ensure that their going out is an occasion, not just the usual, what happened in the past. If they feel like it's not going to be that, it's going to be an event because it's, you need to leave your house. You step out of your house on your streets, you're at risk. It's not just being in an enclosed place. It's, your house is apparently the safest place for now. So the new normal is the driving, which we're thinking of, and the kind of content we hope to screen, because we won't be able to show the amount of movies we used to show. If we're going to have limited occupancy, because I have to reduce the amount of staff we'll have. Nobody will lose their jobs, but rotates. If you work 1 week on, 1 week off, we need to make it, we do a lot of group bookings, which would prefer people coming together to watch movies with their friends. A lot of group bookings is going to be considered, and it's one of the things that would actually help. Social distancing is not a problem. People need to interact. We human beings need to come together. Being alone at home it affects a lot of people. Mental health, because we're talking about people that have been at home for a very long time. They are seeing the same people. So a lot of things are happening. So our customers need to interact. And that's there's an online poll that has been done by the movie industry, because most of the big studios won't release their films to online platform like Netflix, HBO, and all of them. They are still insisting to show their movies at the theaters because of the returns and the fact that Netflix is for a different set of people that want to have the privacy of their homes to watch a movie. But the theaters there's
live experience.
Experience, yes, as an experience. It's like being in the football, it's a stadium watching a football and tournament, and you watching it at home, your flat screen TV. It's different. The experience is different.
Are you considering drive-through movies?
Oh yes, we are.
That'll be
like
very
I said,
exciting.
we have to consider everyone, the people that have cars and people that don't have cars. And I'm talking to a lot of people that have taxi services, because we need to consider everybody, because everybody needs to feel, get the experience. So it's not about the haves and the have-nots. It's as long as you can afford to buy the tickets, which we have to consider for everybody, because the new normal is people need to live. And once they're not living well, then, like I said, we're going to be dealing with a lot of mental health and families and issues. It's an experience. The cinema itself is an experience, meeting different people and just getting out of the home, because it can be very, very frustrating seeing the same four walls every day. It's depressing.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. I think I would want Emma to wrap up on this particular one for us. I mean, Global Media Alliance, we have a lot of events. I know YFM, for instance, had, like you said in the introduction, you had to cancel a lot of events, and that's been how impactful this whole COVID has been. Looking forward, how are you preparing for the next 6 months, or should I say the rest of the year, with events, for instance?
Okay, thank you, NY. In my initial submission, I mentioned that we'll have to start weighing the events and looking at how much impact we're going to create. Events, definitely, most of the time, we want them to bring profit. You know, you won't just be organizing an event unless it's a CSR event for sure. But sometimes the money put in, you also need an investment from it at the end of the day. So some of the events we organize, honestly, even with the 100 people restrictions that we've been given, we can't be able to meet it because, you know, you have vendors, you have the people producing the show, and then now you have to ensure that you have guests as well. So with these restricted numbers at the moment, we don't think we're going to be having any physical event yet. But what we are looking at is how we can be able to create impact through our events, but using virtual platforms. So it's an opportunity for us to also grow in this area, obviously, because this is the future. You know, we've been talking about digital transformation for years, and now it's an opportunity for us to actually capitalize on it and see how we can be able to make the most impact. I think it was Kofi or Kennedy who mentioned that right now people are not willing to pay for events which they're watching online, but you never know. In the future, this could actually change. So we need to be prepared for this, and this is what we're doing. However, for the events, once we start having events, like I mentioned, you know, we'll have to have, you know, sanitation stations all over. We'll need to be very keen on data collection because contact tracing has been actually the thing that has actually helped Ghana. I'll be honest, because I do compare the cases in Ghana and Kenya, because I'm Kenyan, and I look at how the contact tracing has been done in Ghana, and I appreciate how important it is. So that cannot be put to, I cannot overemphasize on how important it will be in the future of organizing our events. But as a company right now, what we're doing is just seeing how we can be able to have the most impact, giving our audience, I mean, right now we're having a virtual wide dialogues. Maybe we'll have Fumi's cinemas, but now it's virtual. So this is the forward-looking kind of platforms you want to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Akosia.
Yes, so it looks like we're actually good for time. So we have time for more questions. For anyone doing the listening, at Y107.9 FM is our handle in Accra, at Y1025 is our handle in Kumasi. Please send your questions there. And my WhatsApp line here is 020-2222-073. That's 020-2222-073. And as we wait for more questions, there's a question that came in. Someone wants to know, as an artist in this time, a musician, an actor, how do I monetize these new virtual platforms? Or where do I learn the tools? Because it's like everything is happening around me. And how do I catch it? How do I make money out of it? If anyone wants to pick it up.
Okay, so let me add a bit before my brother comes in. I know since he's into the digital thing, he can say more on that. I want to explain that so that Kojo Kansa could actually also share something with us. Kojo, may I sure say in these times, no, oh yeah, a musician, also an actor. Quite by now, apart from the fact say, or they no call TV station, and I say you video no TV station no. You know, all your videos on YouTube. Into me, say me artist and I'm an actor. Quite ben I'm a fashion yeska. Into ubi I ready so be my answer biano wait me actually. So we are open. Anybody, if Kofi will want to speak to that.
Yeah. So from us, we have a digital distribution platform, Crux Global, and what we do is we actually distribute the artists' music videos to the digital platforms and monetize it for them, and also pitch for placements on those platforms. And all it takes is for the artists to just submit their content via our website. So I'm sure, you know, cruxmusic.global. So it's www.cruxmusic.global. I'm sure I'll share it with YFM so that they can share it on their socials, so you guys can see. But we actually help artists and musicians monetize their content online, and also, you know, make sure that they're receiving income from it as well. So yeah, that's my answer to it.
If I could follow up on that, I mean, of late we see a lot of people, for instance, on Facebook, somebody puts up a comedy skit on YouTube or something, and somebody goes downloads it, puts it on Facebook, puts it on Twitter, post it on Instagram. These are platforms that you may not be able to monetize, and that means that these artists or these individuals are losing that much things that they could direct to these monetized platforms. Are there avenues for you to make sure that these things do not happen, so that these artists or these creatives also make enough money from their work?
To answer that question, I think firstly, short form content, skits, etc. It's very hard for you to make income on those content. But what those contents should serve as, they should serve as a catalyst for you to promote another piece of content that you can actually monetize. So if you can create a podcast that's like, 30 minutes talking about a particular topic, and you make a 10-second skit or that leads back to that, and you're able to drive traffic to the content you own, that's the best way to use that piece of content. It should always lead back to a piece of content that you can monetize.
Okay, I'm asking this because you realize that, you could have a 10-minute video on YouTube, which has been monetized. A blogger decides to download it and uploads it on Instagram. And the full thing is out there, means you are losing the traffic and you're losing the money that could have been made if all the attention was directed to YouTube.
Yeah, well, I can't talk for let's say movies, etc. But in terms of your soundtrack, you can fingerprint your soundtrack and no one will be able to rip it. Like, we can literally, like, if I owned a piece of audio, or if you submitted the audio through us, I can stop anybody from uploading that audio. They can only upload that audio if we gave them permission.
Permission, okay.
So that it already exists.
Okay, that's fine. Kojo, wait me actually, me sure say YouTube winners kakaka or painting the videos no year anymore. Apart from the fact say, what they do fans and me sure so winners ka.
Anyway, Deminia ba never kasai, the kasati siano. On the Apple Music ne sa Amazon video sa music nyinano. Say at least you be no original month it said but the issue which we just be 6 months 8 months yes it might abaka say be 20 times 10 times the on that yes it's like YouTube no I be and you fancy ahe be fancy to be saying to me class emma ya dey ntia me kan enhye emma sabe ya dey ntwam ne din kofom. That's why the force the any brain ya where I be to send be ya be twam be send e jasoro the income na e dia ba. The YouTube we to ma was me na YouTube no dey etiaka ade utwato na omutiaka 2 months you as utwato ya ke e bia 10,000 ya 100,000 ya bia we 1 million viewers month no so think about so na swing you ntwane no was me no so na 10th let's canaba abada what say we no wonya e wonya be $500 and when you're on side down from the second answer na ere abutem na maze akwese one ya do fodi echi ni ha wonya me di aduru nti hwe amema fom on say we hawa Ghana ha no yemum pe YouTube mo na hera ko YouTube nti atisi bi ya de akoto YouTube a won hye na mo hoka yi hwe putting to a music video almost 50,000 Ghana cedi and 100,000 Ghana cedi we go to YouTube when we release one 1 month ni ye 100,000 kurepo this aya me kan say Ghana ha number say the pardon hwe na ko YouTube wosa nti wo baka aya de akoto won ma ya osa adwe no hwe wutum twa music video e baka be 40,000 50,000 70,000 we release to YouTube one ma within a month ne unyanya 100,000 k kurepo and you 100,000 k video which is 1 million video and I nyuma controversial but na nyuma beef no na ba na mafo akwache traffic when say ma be 1 million views be 1 week 2 weeks na 1 million enti say e boka video and e boka video at was e tinu nyini we video no Nigeria for ya atiti mi resume no akoto within 1 day na 2 days we 1 million sakasa na ye ha no e Ghana ha ye reality a anka tisi be woska katisi be woska. As what is the market video 50,000, we say 10 months. check YouTube 3 months. No one 100,000K. It's very much
Ghanaian musicians, creatives, no. I'm going to say Nyeska in free monetizing platforms. This to say YouTube, no.
That was own course, Bibini, or Bacas, me. When I was starting to short now, I was going to YouTube over. What you want? Send me.
Our host not there to us and send me next episode, send it to WhatsApp, man.
Oh, and like I can't wanna send me.
If you feel so, how be next and your uncle her cry.
No. What I say? I saw it is can I do we had a man how so do it. Who video? I don't just watch it. We are sleepy here. I'm only check. I will and then ya when you swim your many I want them.
Into no play with fans say the more year projects now they are among core platforms now a ton of and I kind of normal
yeah.
All right, Kojo, thank you very much. So I don't know if I'm able to translate that a bit. He's talking about the fact that a lot of creatives do not really make enough money from their monetized platforms because Ghanaians don't love to stream. They don't want to go onto those platforms. Like people would prefer to share them on WhatsApp and all these platforms where you don't have to stream it or you don't have to pay anything. But he will plead with the following that at least make good use of these platforms where they stream so they're able to make some money. I mean, from YouTube, if it's music, get onto any of the digital platforms so that you get to stream or download so they make some money and avoid all these illegal means of getting their creative works because they invest a lot of money into some of these products. So of course, yeah.
All right. So I think we've all been really, really good. We actually have 4 minutes.
I think Emma wants to say something.
Okay, yeah, sure.
No, for me.
It was for me.
We have 4 more minutes. So I was actually, we are supposed to wrap up with closing comments. Because I'm moderating, I definitely don't want to end with closing comments. I want our panelists to be the ones to send any final remarks to their listeners. We have 4 minutes, so that means 30 seconds each. 30 seconds each. Just maybe something final. Then NYDJ, you can probably close us off. But someone sent a message asking why the president is not opening the clubs and bars. Well, obviously, we are all still worried in the COVID pandemic. So we are trying to see what we can do. So yes, if anyone wants to go first, 30 seconds. A final closing. Meanwhile, Kofi, you've also put up your cracksmusic.global. So let me just read it aloud for those listening on radio. Check out cracksmusic.global for artists, and Kofi will talk more about it. Thanks.
Okay, so I want to start.
Yes.
Okay. First off, I would like to say a big thank you for this opportunity, and then moving forward, I want to say this that. I'm very grateful, most especially to Global Media Alliance BC, especially for their theme for the month, which is the financial literacy. Because one of the things, like Lewin was saying, was the aftermath. What next? So it's important that we know how to invest our money, because if any pandemic should hit again, you're going to fall on your savings to cushion yourself. They said if you're fired, you need to survive on your investment for the next 3 months. So I think it's very important they're having this one. And probably, Kofi, if there's a way we could discuss and have a way of pushing comedy through your platforms, we'll be very grateful, so that we are not just limited to the YouTube, because most especially we, the comedians, apart from YouTube, we don't really have any other platform to actually push it. And so yes, if there's something like that we could sit down and push, I'll be very glad to be a part of it. And yes, so thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm grateful.
I think it's great, especially when Little Wayne just finished speaking about Ghanaians helping each other. I think if we all help each other, like a good example, we use Afrotella's platform to sell more watch it for Reggie Rock's cross promote Vienna City, then the comedy and stuff like that. If internally within Ghana itself, it's about 31 million people right now. If we all help promote each other across each platform, I think will definitely help, and then everybody can actually benefit from each other. Even if it's 10 pesos, we all can split 1 peso each, and it'll add up like gradually. So YFM, GMA, thank you guys.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I would
if
like
you can, yeah, thank you.
That I think one of the things that we should be grateful for is maybe this is an opportunity for us to be innovative. So let's take it as an opportunity not just to look at the negative sides of COVID and the pandemic, but also an opportunity for growth and for innovation. And I really like what Kennedy said with being able to cross promote and work together with other professionals in the same industry to see how we can be able to lift each other up. So thank you so much for this opportunity as well.
And yeah, I'd add on from that as well. Again, thank you for the opportunity. And it's been amazing to kind of just sit in with you guys as well and just everyone's thoughts. Yeah, I guess moving forward, like in my space of business, digital music, etc., and digital content as a whole, I think it's just about making sure that everyone is educated on the platforms available to them. And yeah, through Crux Global, we'll definitely keep everyone updated. And to add on to what Kenny said as well, I think it's in addition to Ghanaians connecting and working with each other within Ghana, I think it's very important for Ghanaians within Ghana to connect with the diaspora as well, because the diaspora hold Ghana very tight to their heart, and they also have a lot of opportunities that they have, like myself. I grew up in London, I'm from London, but Ghana is very close to my heart. And that with that being the case, my whole schooling, education and life in the West has been driven to making Ghana a better place. And there's a lot of people like me in the world. And I think it's about Ghanaians connecting with diasporians around the world as well as connecting with Ghanaians within Ghana. So yeah, thank you again.
I also say thank you to YFM. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I also say thank you to Team YFM for organizing such a brilliant platform for us to express our grievances and challenges. And I'll also step in the shoes of my competitors that it is very hard to come by with money. You have to be very, very strategic. You have to know what to buy, what to put your money into, because the returns will be very low. So you have to be very, very tactical, so you can get money to look after the existing staff. I would say the skeleton staff, because they are not a lot. The few staff that you are managing, so that you can operate smoothly. And I would also say that you can come to Vienna City. We provide nose masks and sanitizers for free to our patrons. And certainly, as I said, we are going to use this opportunity to do our karaoke online. So if you want to participate, you're welcome. So good luck to everybody, and good luck to you guys all.
Awesome. So I don't know if Fumi has something to say. I mean, wrapping up, 30 seconds.
Oh yes, for me, I would want the creatives, the producers, Ghanaian producers, to use this opportunity to create content for not just for the Ghanaian audience, but for the world, because the world has gone global. Storyline, jokes, and all that. Remember, the world is your audience now, not just the Ghanaian audience. So basically, things have changed, and we need to move with the change. If you want to get paid well, you need to think global. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So I don't know if Lowen,
Reggie.
Yeah.
Hey, we know. Then I'll be cut to my.
Okay, maka nyankopon share wa afemfo nya nhira atiefo etie ni mu hwɛ na fe meka se emu obi aba mu yesi bia no onfa mu se nyame nhyehyɛ abasisa bi aka come to them na de Ghana fo nya obi aso mu wura Busy Empire TV na onkosere hono na afi so no every Tuesday bia na obi anwoche baga kwa ba UTV Tuesday bia 7:30 nyankopon share obi a
Kwajo be ko bat me pese o new song no obe freestyle kakra bi.
Yeah, you say no say my 10 to say FM dance or comic o say kum commando Honestly, Commando more the champ Van Damme. Nobody can challenge Commando in the whole Ghana. But I tell you, down so comic, more down tonic, we say Chrome Prophet, announcing Kuma, no for them a chat, drag them a brag, mana champion, then work. No, we, champion Jimmy, don't try me, VJ Jimmy, la lie. We say Commando, but how dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
So, yeah. Reggie Rockstone.
Gojo Kumio.
I want you. Special one. Special one.
How many names there? Yeah. Maybe share.
All right, Reggie. So you want to wrap up with us, Reggie?
Peace and love. You know, my brother out here looking like Busum Pyong upside down. Because you looking like Cisco dipped in on Pink Floyd.
Reggie, I said me I can't tree and can't be boy kojo pao.
Kojo, guys, that's why I say Busum Pyong I turn upside down. Hey, listen, man, I love you guys. It's out of necessity comes the greatest innovations, and I need you to ride with me on this one because when I told you all about hip life, remember you looked at me funny. Here we are today. Today I'm telling you about eco-friendly, putting your food in the jar, safe, no more jumping in the polythene bags, choking up your gutters, making these folks die. You got to ride with me on this. Trust me. So Jawache. That's the vibe right there, and I love all of you.
All right, thank you very much, Reggie. We appreciate the input, and we want to thank everybody for all the inputs that you've made. I mean, for making time with us. But first, thanks to Global Media Alliance, GMABC, for actually working this one out. Nobody ever thought this was going to happen, but here we are today, living with a new normal. We say thank you very much for spending time with us. From George, Foster, Emma, Ken, Kojun Kansa, Kofi, Reggie Rockstone, Fumi, and of course my co-host, that is Akosia. I want to thank you very much for the time, for the energy, and for all the insights you share with us. 100 days of COVID-19 in Ghana, the learnings, and I'm sure we all coming from different backgrounds or different industries. Even in the same industry that's entertainment, we're going to know how to put things together going forward and make the entertainment industry a very great one. So I want to thank you very much to our listeners. I mean, for spending over 2 hours, like 2 hours with us, listening to this insightful discussion here. And we know that the conversation has just started, and we need to continue from here and make sure that we live beyond this. We never know when COVID is ending, and this is the new normal. So we need to brace ourselves and move beyond this. Like Emma said, we shouldn't look at this just at the negatives. There are positives coming out. Now you have what's the name? Sweets Beats now going with this amazing platform that's roping in lots of money now. So we should be looking at how we can survive beyond COVID-19. So thank you very much for sticking with us. My name is NYDJ. Anytime you're in Kumasi, make sure you tune into YFM. That's from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm the host of Rise and Shine. We are live all the time as well on yfmghana.com. And I know Akosia is also in there in Accra as well, holding the city down all the time. So thank you very much for sticking with us. And catch you some other time.
And congratulations on making it through 100 days of COVID. We made it, guys. We made it. Yes.
I wish you could play that applause sounds in the studio.
I know, right? Thank you. And all the best in all you do.
It feels like
actually, let me just remind you why 97.9 FM Takrade is the handle on socials and also on radio. You can catch Kumasi Y102.5 and Accra Y107.9 FM. My name is Akosia Hansen. You can catch me on the Y Lounge Monday through to Thursday, 7 p.m. through to 10 p.m. And on that note, would say
Akosia, please don't say au revoir yet. Let's au revoir. I think Ken wanted to say something.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say. No.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine then.
It was me.
All right.
All right.
This is YFM.